Hello everybody, my name is Solo. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're on one of the Tycoon games that I've been playing a lot of, which is called Sandwich Tycoon. It's gotten some updates, but that's not the subject of today's video. Today I want to take a look at 3 different dev teams that have now basically turned into dev teams that are doing this said game because it's the easy way out for them to get more money, and are basically just regurgitating the same thing over and over and over again with these new games. And it's 3 different dev teams which most of the people who watch this channel will recognize, and I just wanted to go through and talk about these because honestly it's kind of getting a bit ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, like, very much so. It's getting a bit ridiculous. So yeah, I just want to go through and talk to you about it and see what people's opinions are. So if you guys don't know, there's a game known as Catch a Brain Rot. Now if you guys don't know what Catch a Brain Rot is, it's a game where you have a base, you have a laser system, you can sit there, go catch brain rot, and then you can go back and it will make money for you, and then you can sit there and use that money to buy other brain rot, and then, you know, so on and so forth. It continues the same way. There's rarities, so on and so forth, right? That's at least how it normally works, right? Now this game is very popular. I believe it's the 2nd highest game currently in Roblox. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah, let's talk about the 3 dev teams. So the 3 dev teams that have been using this mode, and a lot of people are gonna say, oh well, everybody makes a new game around this new fad, right? Or the new thing that's popular. It happened with Grow a Garden, it happened with, you know, other ones that are like this. However, these 3 very much are ones that just kind of hopped on because they were either struggling with their main project, or they just wanted even more money on top of what else they are making, right? So yeah, very much so we are seeing these dev teams basically go, and it's not, I don't even think it's the dev teams, I think it's just the people in charge of them. But we are seeing these dev teams go and make these games basically because they know it's going to turn a profit, right? Because these games are very easy to monetize in various different ways. For example, you could probably make it so then different items or different mechanics are monetized and make it speed up, or make it so then you can, you know, get even a private server. Even if it doesn't cost that much initially, it's still going to cost you at the end to have the private server. So what are the 3 dev teams that have done this? Well, you'll be very pleasantly surprised at a few of them, because I've actually covered them on the channel, and in actual detail I've covered them on the channel. So we'll start with the one that I covered first, and also the one that did it technically first, and that is going to be none other than Hyper, or the Five Nights Tower Defense dev team. Now if you scroll down, there is the Five Nights TD stuff right here. But if we actually, you know, look, there's also the new grab a or steal a FNAF that came out. That very much was literally just a copy and paste. Here we are. Hi there, an announcement. New favorite the game here. There it is. Why are you screaming like that? Blah, 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 blah. Restart money. Stuff like that. However, if you notice, I don't see anything pertaining to yeah, FN or Steal a FNAF, right? I don't know if it's just because like it doesn't exist anymore or what, but if I hit the game link for Steal a FNAF, it doesn't actually. So this is a game that, if I pull over this, it's actually privated now. Like, it is like actually privated. So basically, if you guys don't know, what happened with this is in the chats that Hyper was doing with this in Galaxy Tycoon, they like teased really much this game, and I actually got a lot of flack for making the video that I did about it, saying that it was just a copycat game, but it was very much so. It was a copycat game of the Steal a franchise, right? Or I shouldn't call it a franchise, Steal a games, right? So now it doesn't exist. Why? Because Hyper stopped making money off of it. Like that's like your very much like basis of why it doesn't exist. I mean, it was literally created a month or so before it was released. Stole the entirety of like how a Steal a game works, and then turn around, and when it stopped making a profit, immediately got axed by Hyper. And that's the exact same outcome that happened with their venture before that, which was Brawl Tower Defense. And yeah, it was very much a very desperate grab at money, since they're deciding to make a second FNTD and also do whatever they're doing with regular FNTD. But it very much screamed more desperation, because at the time it came out, they had already had one thing fail. FNTD was still really horribly balanced and really unfun for most people. And so they announced this, and I don't know if they announced it just because they wanted people to spend money on the game or what have you, but that's where it got announced. So there's our first example of a Steal a game being made by a developer that people would know. Now the second one actually came more as quite not surprising, but very okay, yeah, I figured eventually you would give in to this. So you may ask, okay, who is the second person who did this? Well, you'll be very surprised to know that it was indeed Big Games themselves. That's right, Big Games. You guys don't know, Big Games had their whole Steal a Pet come out. Right here it is, Steal a Pet. So we go here and we click the link. Steal a Pet actually is out. However, it's only averaging about 1,000 players right now, as you can see. Now, when did this come out? Well, simple. It came out around the time that they added the new, the new, like, islands or whatever for Pet Sim 99. After Pet Sim lost a lot of its, like, popularity, so to speak, because a lot of people were going to other games because, well, Pet Sim 99 was just kind of not doing what they exactly wanted, so they moved on to a different game. And a lot of people either went to, like, what was it? They went to, like, Bubblegum Simulator, or they went to Rebirth Champions Ultimate. Either way, at the time, you know, players were down and they wanted more revenue, so they made a Steal a game, right? That's how it ended up happening. So yeah, the whole basis for them doing that was because, again, player count went down, people stopped really spending a lot on Pet Sim 99, and at the point of them doing it was kind of a turning point for one, if not even two of their games, as Pets Go would discontinue support after Steal a Pet would come out, right? Now Steal a Pet comes out, they discontinue support for for Pets Go, right? Which people are still fed up about. However, it seems like Pet Sim 99 also might be going the same way, as it's now been 2 weeks and there is no update. Now, there's some people in the Discord that try to say, well, personal things are getting in the way. And to that I reply, if there's someone having a personal thing, like, deal with that first, sure. But the thing is you can't tell your player base it's going to be 2 weeks and then push it again and then expect them to stay around if you keep pushing back an update, or if you just basically given up on updating the game and you're working on something else. Like, I have no idea what's actually like going on with Pet Sim 99 and Preston and big games right now. There's rumors that it got sold, there's rumors people got fired. I have no idea what's going on right now, and I'm gonna have to wait to even figure out what is going on right now. So yeah. Anyway, that leads me to the final example of the same thing. Again, a lot of these games, it's either they don't want to like work on the game or like change the game in a way that they really want to make it better, or they're struggling financially to either keep up, or their revenue that they want is down, because a lot of these games do have, a certain amount of revenue that they want. But yeah, the third example is the one that I just made the video on, which is going to be none other than sorry, I have to scroll a little bit. None other than Wonderworks Studios, aka whatever they called themselves to make Steal a Spongebob. Now, of course, if we click into this and look at Steal a Spongebob, it is only at 1,800 players as of right now. Now, you might ask yourself, oh, well, why did they make the Steal a Spongebob? Isn't, SpongeBob TD doing all right? Not really. Here's the problem. A, they keep having to delay stuff. B, people aren't spending as much because ever since the Bunker Brothers, it kind of destroyed the balance of the game, and people have slowly realized that the higher ups who are in control of the game are just literally pumping it full of microtransactions. Because if you guys notice, as time has gone on, they've had a subsequent thing of they'll add a new mode, they'll add a new sorry, my brain is fried because I'm tired, but they'll add a new mode, they'll add some new microtransaction to that mode or feature, and then they'll add more microtransactions and more microtransactions. Great example, chests. Chests were a cool thing because you would get it and then you'd open it with a chance of getting a certain character. However, they made it into a fear of missing out mechanic, kind of like a season pass, where they sit there and they say, oh, well, these characters are only here for a certain amount of time, and then we're going to rotate them out. However, every time they have rotated them out, it's turned into, we're not only rotating them out, we're adding a new rarity of chests that requires even more luck to get. So, for example, we started out, we had, mythic chests being kind of the highest you could get. And the best unit you could get initially with chests or with AFK was Squidward, right? Because Handsome Squidward was the bigger one that people enjoyed getting. However, as time went on, it went from being Handsome Squidward to being what was it? It turned into secrets, right? Like Squidosaurus Rex. But like, yeah, Squidosaurus Rex or any of those that came in, and when that got introduced and everything got refreshed, we went from just having mythics to having now mythics, secrets, and boosted secret chests, right? And secrets were, you know, rare to get, but the boosted secret chests were only buyable. You could only buy a boosted secret chest, right? Meaning you had to spend a bunch of money to try to get Squidosaurus Rex. They literally offered a like fully 5-star shiny Wumbo secret or Neptune's Crown Squidosaurus Rex via these bought secret chests. Then recently they changed it from having max secret chests to now max exotic chests, and that exotic chest has a chance of getting the new stuff, which was the mimic. And again, it's just increasing that like threshold of how much are you willing to spend for these units, to the point where players were leaving like left and right. They were just leaving because it's like, why am I playing a game that's requiring me to buy so much stuff over time, right? So yeah, at the point that they did it, eventually, you know, they started losing people. People eventually start going to other games, and now they're kind of desperately trying to get more money back and other things like that. So now they have another game that is their kind of scapegoat. That is what they can do to get more money without actually putting in the dev time. And I'm going to be perfectly honest. Anyone who looks at any of those 3 games that are copies of Steal a Brainrot and try to say, well, the people who made it did so much dev time on it. The only thing that they changed on those fundamentally was literally just the models. Like everything else of how the game actually functions and works is the exact same as Steal a Brainrot. That's why we have such high turnaround times for these games to come, like being created and coming out, that literally it made people's head spins. I mean, like literally still FNAF doesn't even exist anymore, and it literally was out for like a month and a half, right? It's just the thing of like, they take these templates, they put models on top of them, and then they use that to get extra revenue when they feel like they need more revenue, and it's an easy scapegoat. And I just wanted to call attention to this behavior because it's kind of honestly despicable. If you're gonna sit there and make a new game, you're gonna sit there and make something that's a steal a game, put some actual effort into it, not some lazy cash grab version of Steal Brainrot. The reason why people like Steal Brainrot is because, well, A, children like Brainrot content because they don't really know any better, but also B, they like it because it has like an ever-evolving ecosystem and has been updating since it came out, whereas these new ones struggle to update and make like a reason for people to actually play these games when they could just go play Steal a Brainrot, which is way ahead of all these new ones that are coming out. Because a lot of the new ones that are coming out are just copies and pastes of Steal a Brainrot back when it first released. Right? It's the thing of, hi, I want all the money with no effort. And that's the worst part about this. Another bad part about it is it's not really even the dev teams. It's the people making the decisions. You know, Preston, Hyper, and even Viacom and the people behind SpongeBob Tower Defense. Those are the people making the decisions to make these games. Basically go, hey, yeah, we don't care if you're upset about this or you think that we're just like milking the money out of this. We want more money, so we're going to continue to do it. It's just ridiculous. So if any of the devs hear this or any of the higher ups hear this, make something that people are going to actually be interested in, put effort into it, and maybe your game will actually survive past a month instead of just making some cheap, bland copy of a game because it's popular on Roblox. Anyway, with that being said, I think I'm going to end the video here. If you guys liked the video, as always, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys think about this whole situation. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you guys never miss a video. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day, stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.